The Expiration Date. Presented by Stillafrog.
So, what time is this thing anyway?
You mean my parents' anniversary party? Is that the thing you're talking about?
Sorry. I'm sorry. Look, it's been a long day. Getting all dressed up to go out and mingle politely with people is like the last thing I feel like doing. But I am going to do it happily, all for you, my dear.
And for my parents, right?
And for your parents, of course.
Mm-hmm. You think we'll make it to 40? Man, that's a long time.
Well, it'll seem like no time at all if I get to spend it with you.
Oh, aren't you sweet? Mm-hmm. Seriously, though, I mean, can you imagine 40 years together? I mean, here, we've done 7, and it feels
Well,
like...
hey now.
I'm teasing right now. 7 years with you has been bliss wrapped in heaven, served with a side of world is our oyster, baby.
Oh, I am sure.
You think, though, that being married for 4 decades, that's all it's cracked up to be?
Huh. I mean, I didn't realize it was cracked up to be anything.
Oh, you know what I mean? Like, you tell people, oh, we've been married for 40 years, and they're all, oh, wow, what a terrific marriage you must have. But what if it's less roses and more wine, to numb the pain, that is?
I think any marriage, it's 2 years or 70, it's bound to have its ups and downs, right? It's just a typical roller coaster, right? And look, I'm sure your parents is no exception.
Yeah, I suppose you're right.
I mean, aren't I always?
No, I do remember one period. In the early 2000s, I think it was, and my sister and I were still kids, but old enough to understand when all was not exactly hunky-dory on the home front.
And did you live in like some 1950s Western?
Hunky-dory?
Really?
Okay, listen to my story. Anyway, so Dad had started working later than normal. And this was over a period of several weeks. And Mom would act like everything was just fine. We'd sit down to dinner, though, and Dad's empty chair was this gigantic blow-water-in-your-face white elephant in the room, night after night after night. And they never argued in front of us, though, like ever. They discussed through these pained, gritted teeth smiles, which just made it all the worse. And so one night, this was ridiculously late, maybe 1 or 2 in the morning or something, and Dad had just gotten home. And my sister and I were in bed, so the gritted teeth smiles came off, and they were full on yelling at one another. And of course, Mom accused him of seeing someone. And Dad came back with how hard he works to support his family, and apparently she didn't appreciate his sacrifice one bit. And then Mom's like, what sacrifice? Was it that you only got to fuck her 4 times this week instead of 5? And it went on, and on until the sun started coming up.
So what happened?
Well, obviously they stayed married, and hence the fact that you're changing into cocktail attire right now.
Was your dad cheating?
I don't know. No, actually, I do know. I think it's something I've tried to repress, so it was like the middle of the week, a Tuesday or some mundane day like that.
Mundane day? What did poor Tuesday ever do to you?
Will you listen to my story already?
Okay, sorry.
Okay, as I was saying, it was a Tuesday, and I got sent home from school early. I think I had a fever or I puked at my desk or something.
Charming.
It was. Anyway, so Mom came and drove me home, but then she had to go back to work. And I was laying upstairs in my bedroom when, like an hour or so later, the front door opens, and it's my father. And I'm thinking to myself, what's he doing home? It was only like 2 o'clock. And then I hear him talking on the phone. And he's saying things like, I miss you too, baby. And of course I do. And that's why I'm skipping out of work in the middle of the day. And then he says, okay, so I'll see you at our spot in about an hour. Our spot, he said. Like, I don't know, it's hard to explain, but there was a fondness, like a longing in the way that he said our spot. And I just knew. I just knew that something was wrong, really, really wrong between my parents.
Wow, your old man was sleeping around.
Oh, okay, first off, you did not listen to my story, okay? And secondly, it wasn't sleeping around. He had an affair. That's different.
No, it's not.
What?
Sleeping around and having an affair are the same thing.
Sleeping around implies himboism.
Him what?
Yeah, like a bimbo, but a himbo.
Oh, come on. I mean, no, look, having an affair and sleeping around are synonyms as far as I'm concerned, right? And here I am having to go to some necktie-only soiree to celebrate some sham of a marriage.
No, hey, my parents' marriage is not a sham. It was, well, no, I mean, it was just a down moment in the roller coaster of their relationship, right? I mean, isn't that how you described it?
Let's face it, your dad was nailing the secretary and your mom got wise to it.
Sometimes I really don't like you. Hey, Daddy, where's Mom? I've barely seen her all night.
Well, your mother's not feeling that great today.
Oh, no. Is everything okay?
Fine. She'll be fine. But thankfully everybody's starting to leave. We did want to talk to you and your sister privately.
Why? What's wrong?
Oh, nothing. It's just... We'll talk this through when your mom is ready, okay?
Dad, you cannot do that. No. You have to give me some hint, at least.
Well, we wanted to get you and Cheryl together, but, your mom and I are getting a divorce.
What? You're having a 40th anniversary party, for crying out loud, right now. I mean, why would you? I'm not. I guess I'm just in shock right now.
I know, sweetheart. It's a lot to take in, especially given where we are. It's just, we've been heading that way for a long time. A very long time. And the decision was agonizing, trust me.
Why the hell have this party, then? I am so confused.
It wasn't until after all the arrangements had already been made that we realized we had to do this. And you and your sister seemed so excited while we were planning this, and...
Who gives a fuck how excited we were, Dad? Oh my God, I need to go find my husband.
Of course. Like I said, we'll talk about this another time.
Hey, everything okay? You look like somebody just stole your puppy.
Let's just go.
People are still here.
I just want to go, now.
Okay. What's wrong?
They are getting a divorce.
Who?
My parents.
What?
Yes.
But we're at their...
Oh, yeah, I know.
Did your father say why?
He said nothing. Can we leave, please?
Sure. Let's go.
40 years. Can you believe this? 40 years.
Nope.
And I guess love does have an expiration date.
Well, not all love, honey. Not all love.
Do you really believe that?
Like I said 7 years ago at the altar, I do.
Ribbit.